So the next category of figure of speech which we are going to discuss is figures of speech based on construction or arrangement of words. How are words placed in a sequence? On that basis we are going to study the figure of speech. और उसमें हमारे पास first we have climax. The climax, generally we are very familiar with this word climax, or it refers to the highest turning point in the movie or in a story. But in literature as a figure of speech, climax का बहुत different meaning होता है. Climax is when the words are arranged in the order of increasing importance. When the words are arranged in the order of increasing importance, ascending order में जब भी कोई words को place करते हैं, that becomes climax. For example, if you think that's bad, then it gets even worse. अगर आपको लगता है कि ये बुरा है तो ये इससे भी बुरा हो सकता है. In the order of increasing importance. To infinity and beyond. Infinity मतलब unlimited time and even beyond that. So that is an example of climax. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. ये एक idiom है, ये भी बोल सकते हैं. Out of the frying pan से गिरा but कहाँ पे जाके पड़ा? Into the fire. एक मुसीबत से निकल के दूसरी मुसीबत में. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. Again an example of climax. And last but not the least, let a man acknowledge his obligation to himself, his family, his country and his God. हर एक इंसान का एक obligation होता है. पहले वो obligation सिर्फ खुद की तरफ होता है, फिर उसके family की ओर. Afterwards for his country and lastly for God. So from smaller to a bigger picture. That is climax. Climax का exact opposite होता है anti-climax. Now anti-climax is the arrangement of words in the order of decreasing importance. Descending order में जब भी हम words को place करते हैं, at that time they become anti-climax. For example, the plane that Joanna was planning to board, it crashed. पहले क्या हुआ? Plane crash हो गया. The biggest thing which can happen. Then almost everyone got injured. Almost सबको चोट लगी. And their baggage got misplaced. सबसे important क्या है? That the plane crashed. और ये जो चीज़ है उसकी after effects है. So that is an example of anti-climax. When the poet or the storyteller, the author, they arrange the situation or they arrange the words in such a manner of decreasing importance, it becomes anticlimax. She is a great writer, she is a mother and a good humorist. सबसे important क्या है? That she is a writer. She is also a mother and she is good at comedy. She is a good humorist. Last one. The enemies had conquered about the fourth of the empire, and the emperor asked. He realized that he didn't save his breakfast. उसका पूरा empire जो है वो conquer हो गया. फिर उसे पता चला that he didn't save his breakfast. Important क्या है? That he lost his empire. And last में क्या आता है? That he didn't save his breakfast. So that is an example of anticlimax. Climax means ascending order, increasing importance, and anticlimax, descending order, decreasing importance. So in your notebooks, I want you guys to note this down. So we were discussing figures of speech based on construction or arrangement of words. हमने climax और anti climax study किया. उसके बाद आता है anastrophe. Anastrophe का meaning होता है jumble words. The words are not arranged in a proper sequence. They are jumbled. Why? In order to make a poetic effect or in order to emphasize a point. For example, in a black clock sparkle the stars. तो ये jumble किया गया. In a simple way, the stars sparkle on a black clock. ये sentence होता है. But they are not arranged in a sequence in order to make a poetic effect. Intelligent she was not. In fact, she veered in the opposite direction. Basically, the poet is trying to say that she was not intelligent. In fact, she was foolish. Deep into the darkness, peering, long I stood there wondering and fearing. Basically, the poet is trying to say that he stayed there for a long time and he was peering into the darkness. Peering means staring into the darkness. He was wondering, was thinking, and he was fearing, he was scared. And a small cabin built there, of clay and wattles made, 9 bean rows will I have there. So in order for the poem to rhyme, the poet is using anastrophe. So sometimes poets use such figures of speech just for the sake of poetic effect, right? So that is anastrophe. The words are jumbled, and after anastrophe comes tautology. Tautology में क्या होता है? That the poet is emphasizing a particular idea, and in order to emphasize that idea, he repeats it. He repeats certain words or certain ideas, certain concepts. For example, I want to live while I'm alive. He is trying to say that he wants to live to the fullest. जितने भी दिन उसे जीना है, he wants to live it fully. So he is using the concept of being alive to live in order to make a poetic effect, in order to emphasize that idea. Allow myself to introduce myself. Basically, the person is trying to say they want to introduce themselves. So he is using tautology to make a humorous effect. The hot summer sun was scorching. Hot summer sun scorching. All these words refer that it was hot. It was very hot, in fact. And in order to emphasize that it was very hot, the poet uses the hot summer sun scorching. So that is tautology. Certain words or certain ideas are repeated unnecessarily, but they are repeated in order to emphasize a point. And last one, if we do not succeed, then we run the risk of failure. अगर successful नहीं होते तो ये तो समझा जा सकता है that if we are not successful, we are going to fail. Still, the person is saying, if we do not succeed, then chance है that failure हो सकता है. Then we run the risk of failure. Again, same concepts are used in order to emphasize a point. We were discussing figures of speech based on construction or arrangements of words, and now we are going to discuss hyperbole. Hyperbole का meaning होता है कि something is said by exaggerating it. नाम में ये hyper मतलब ज़्यादा, बड़ा चढ़ा के बोलना. So a hyperbole is an overstatement. Whenever the poet exaggerates a statement in order to make a point, that figure of speech becomes a hyperbole. और इसका बहुत common example है, the old man was older than the Himalayas. Basically, we are trying to say that the person is really old in age, but we are saying that he is even older than the Himalayas. तो literally अगर ये हम देखने जाए तो it is not going to be true. कोई भी चीज को बढ़ा चढ़ा के हम बोलते हैं in order to say that something is true. Another example from a poem. I had to wait in the station for 10 days and eternity. This is taken from the poem Heart of Darkness. Basically, the poet is trying to say कि उनको 10 days wait करना पड़ा, station पे रहना पड़ा, and for him those 10 days seemed like an eternity. Eternity मतलब forever. Another example from the poem, As I walked out one evening, the poet says, I love you dear till China and Africa meet, till the river jumps over the mountain and the salmon sing in the street. तो अगर आप literal meaning देखने जाए तो China and Africa, they're never going to be together. The river is never going to jump over the mountain and the salmon is never going to sing in the street. मतलब the poet is trying to say forever by giving us impossible example. कोई भी चीज को आप जब बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोलते हो in order to emphasize your point, in order to prove your point, that figure of speech becomes a hyperbole. And not necessarily in poems, this figure of speech is even used in our daily life when we are trying to make a point by making an overstatement. So ये हुआ in the category of figures of speech based on construction of words. This was hyperbole. अभी इसके बाद we are going to discuss one miscellaneous category of figures of speech. But before that, I want you guys to note this down in your books. Welcome back friends. Now we are going to learn two extra figures of speech. और ये जो figure of speech है हम lower standards में भी पढ़ चुके हैं. Right? They are the most easy ones. We have alliteration and onomatopoeia. Both of them are based on sounds. We'll start with alliteration. Alliteration तब होता है when a consonant sound is repeated in a line. और ये repeat क्यों होता है? Either for a rhythm or a poetic effect or to create a humor. Right? बचपन में थोड़े tongue twisters आते थे and those are the perfect examples of alliteration. For example, Sally sells seashells by the sea shore. So in this line, constant sound of S is repeated. When the sound is repeated, a consonant sound that is, at that time we'll call that figure of speech alliteration. Another example from a poem. The fair breeze blew and the white form flew. The poet is trying to say, जैसे ही हवा आई, the fair breeze blew. जो पानी के ऊपर फॉर्म था वो उससे हिला. It flew away. So the white form flew. But the words are arranged in such a manner that the consonant sounds are repeated and it creates a poetic effect. That is an example of alliteration. Last but not the least, I have looked down the saddest city lane. दो यहाँ पे S है, यहाँ पे C है. Both letters are different but the sound is same. And the thing which we focus on is the sound. Definition में लिखा है sound is repeated, not the letter, not the alphabet. So look down the saddest city lane. Saddest city, that is a repetition of the S sound, and it is an example of alliteration. तो ये बात हुई alliteration की. उसके बाद आता है onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is the use of sounds in the poem. जब भी हम कोई sound के लिए word use करते हैं, for example, जो bees का buzz होने का sound होता है, for that we have the word buzz, the buzzing sound. तो buzz जब हम line में use करते हैं, it becomes onomatopoeia. Words that imitate sounds are used for a poetic effect. The buzzing bee flew away. तो bee was buzzing. Bees का जो sound है, that is used. Another one. The books fell on a table with a loud thump. Books इतनी जोर से गिरी that एक आवाज आई thump. तो books के गिरने की जो आवाज है, that is described and that is an example of onomatopoeia. Another one. The moan of doves in immemorable aims and murmuring of innumerable bees. Doves मतलब जो क्या बोलते हैं, birds होते हैं, उनका जो sound है, slow rhythmic sound, that is described as a moan. And bees का जो sound होता है एकदम छोटा सा, that is described as murmuring. So again, words which imitate sounds are used, it becomes onomatopoeia. And the last one, the river slushed and rushed, bubbling and gurgling along the rocks. तो एक river कैसे flow होती है, in order to describe that, the poet has used so many sounds. River slushed, it rushed, it was bubbling and it was gurgling. तो river जैसे flow होती है, उसका जो sound है movement का, that is described. In order to make us visualize, the poet uses a figure of speech called onomatopoeia. तो friends, ये बात होती है figures of speech. आप लोग को याद करवा दूँ, figures of speech का meaning होता है figurative language. ऐसी language poets तब use करते हैं when they are trying to show us the bigger picture. They are trying to show us the better meaning, trying to make us visualize a picture and trying to emphasize a point. तो literature में ऐसी बहुत सारी figurative language use होती है, and we have learned some of them in detail, जो आप लोग को in order to appear for your exam, they are necessary. They are the most commonly used. वैसे अगर हम बात करते हैं तो in English language we have more than 40 figures of speech, but we are going to learn only few of them as वही हमारी exams में पूछे जाते हैं, right? In the next video we are going to discuss some of the figures of speech which are there in your curriculum. So for now, this was just the explanation of each figure of speech in order to help you understand and identify each of them. ये जो figures of speech होती है, they differ from poem to poem. They differ from one piece of literature to the other. But how to identify them in any case is what we needed to learn. And that is what we have covered in this three series. That is figures of speech, right? So that is it for this session, right? We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.